Boys be talking out their head, but they can't even motivate themselves. I mean, be real about it, bro. You can't even motivate yourself. You can't even motivate yourself. How do you expect to motivate somebody else? If you don't feel it, then why do you think somebody else is gonna feel it? They don't feel that. They don't feel that, bro. They don't feel that. They don't feel that fire in your heart, man. They don't feel that. They don't feel like you'll do anything. Like you'll do anything to make this happen. Sacrifice anything, give up anything, pay anything. It's not about the money. It ain't about the money. It's about what you said it was about in the first place. It's about setting a goal and making it happen. It's about that. That's how we build. That's how we come. 100.
A service heart versus an entitled spirit. So I'm gonna let him start off with that. How you feel about that topic?
Yeah, and the service heart versus the entitled spirit. I think the reason why I said that is this. I think that a lot of times now we have this thing where we always think we got to get reimbursed for everything that we do. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody kind of wants, to be redeemed for every single action that they put out into the world. And there's nothing wrong with wanting yours. You know what I'm saying? I don't think there's anything wrong with taking care of yourself. But I think there's something to be said. And I think it's a lost art at this point of just kind of being a giver, being like a martyr in a sense, and giving things, not expecting it in return, but just for the sake of giving. You know what I'm saying? I think that's kind of a deal that's getting lost in the shuffle when we get to, especially at a time like now, where it's so much confusion, so much doubt. We don't know what's going to happen next week. We don't know if we're going to be in the same jobs. People are losing, their jobs and their money's tight. And I feel like it's important that we continue to work out of love. You know what I'm saying? Working out of love, having that service heart versus that entitled, you owe me type of thinking. Because I want, all my young people to know that don't nobody owe you a thing. You know what I'm saying? Nobody owes any of us anything. And all these brothers here on this call can attest to that. We are not here to expect things, but we're here to work and we're here to give and we're here to share things that we have inside of us. So I think it's important that we do things out of love. You know what I mean? When you get reimbursed, and yes, we all have jobs, we all need to make money, we got to pay our bills, but we can't forget about the love component of our jobs, of our passions. There's something to be said about having a passion and a purpose. And I'm going to let you guys go ahead and touch on that because I know y'all are men that I've seen passion come, out of, which is why I got you on the call. So I'm gonna let y'all go ahead and add to that.
I'd like to add to that in saying I know most of us have been graduate assistants at some point, so we definitely know a certain standard of giving and not receiving a lot from that. So a lot of people haven't been put in that position, and then sometimes I think to a certain extent. Most people are don't have the necessary resources to feel like they can give. You know what I mean? Some people think that they have to have so much like monetary and also they feel like they have to fix themselves so much that they're not that they can't give. They feel like they can't give. But I think any and everybody can give something to a certain extent. So I think people definitely should realize that a little can go a long way. A short 3-minute call can go a long way. Picking somebody up that maybe needed help can go a long way. So I've definitely been in a lot of positions where just a little help would have I really would appreciate it. You know what I mean? So I think we just need to give and just give without having to think about like, will I be getting a little something, or you know what I mean? Or am I giving? Am I giving enough? Giving is enough in my eyes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then add to what you said, Marshall, I feel like even if you don't have it, because some people want to hold on to it because they don't have it. It's all I got.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's like I can't get this away to you because it's all I got. But it's like when you do that, the more you hold on to it, the more you lost. You know what I'm saying? The more, because that's all you're ever gonna have. When you give, I feel like that's when things are free flowing. So you can get blessings when you give blessings. So it's a lot easier for the blessings to come to you because you receive and you open. When you clutching on everything that you got, every penny that you got, you counting every single second that you spend with people. It's like, bro, you so closed off that you don't even receive the big blessings because you never even opened the valve for those things to come in or come out. And people sense that. You know what I'm saying? I feel like people sense that.
And something you said, my uncle told me this. My uncle in Alaska, he always told me, close your fist. He said, how much can you get inside your fist right now? That you can't get anything inside your fist. He said, because you closed it off.
Right.
He said, when you open it up, the blessings just return right back to that because you open. Like it's kind of like what you just said. So when you closed off, when that fist is closed, it's tight.
Mm-hmm.
You can't. There's no blessings that can get in there. When you open up, when you help out, when you show love, first of all, God's gonna bless you, and then second of all, when you help people, people remember that. So one day when you hit rock bottom, or when you need that call, that one call to somebody to pull up, like, man, I need help. That person might remember. Oh man, I remember that time Jerell, Kerry, Marshall helped me. Strapp helped me. Oh yeah, I'm helping. I'm coming to get them. It won't take me 5 minutes. I'll be there.
Off
so
the
that's
real.
the thing about me.
Off the real.
No, to piggyback off that, there's definitely some brothers in this field that definitely like a vibe that like give you that type of vibe.
Mm-hmm.
Like for instance, I had two of my mentors. One of them is his name is Bebe McClinton. He owns All Sports Speed and Condition in San Antonio. He used to be a former strength coach for the Spurs. I just so happened to intern with him. And so working with him, I was able to see that like that giving type of attitude that he was giving. But at the same time, when I was working with him, I was interning at UTSA. Now there we was told not to be friends, not to have that kind of relationship with him. It was more like you want to feel like that entitlement that you're given, like a strength coach. Like you want to let them know that you're in charge. Like you can't have no sort of like friendly type relationship with them as a coach. So I was getting two types of mixed vibes. So I was able to see the both. I was able to see somebody that was entitled and then somebody that was like really giving and was unentitled.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I learned more when I was with Bebe really helped me when I was working at UTSA because I was able to build those relationships with certain athletes and be able to like let them know that I actually care. Because us as former athletes, I'm pretty sure all of us play sports at some time or another. We've all experienced having somebody that's been there for us as a coach or just all around just somebody that's been just giving. Mm-hmm. So for me, like from my experience and like why I became a coach, it's pretty much what this topic is over. Like I've been able to meet those coaches and have those coaches throughout my high school career and throughout my entire time of learning this field who's been able to give. So it's just like having those coaches that's been in your life to be able to show you like what it means to be a great coach or to be a great mentor. Like that's what I've been able to like piggyback off of. And that's what like us, I'm pretty sure we all instill it in our clients or like athletes, whoever we work with. Like that's what I try to instill and that's what I show. So I respect that whenever somebody like shows that type of realism in this world, especially the world we live in today.
Big facts, big facts. And bro, man, it's crazy. You said that about coaches like being those mentors and why we got into the profession, bro. It's crazy. Like, man, I love my parents, I love my dad, but I never had an impact made on me like the coaches that gave me something when I was a young man. There's nobody in my life that really molded me to being who I am today. Like those coaches that I had that, you know, they held me accountable. And then they also, you know, they was worried about my grades. They was worried about, you know, are you eating at home? You know, they was coming by, you know, I was big dog, you know what I'm saying, at high school, you know, Strapp, you know what I mean? Like I ain't go to my horror, but I was straight. I had Coach Mullins pulled up. You know, y'all don't know Coach Mullins, man, but Coach Mullins pulled up on me. He used to give me like ointment and like, you know, he used to like, you know, if you hungry, if you need something, you come by the house and take care of me. And that stuff, like that service, like he didn't have to do that. That wasn't within his job description. But the fact that he was doing that, it turned me into the man I am today. Cause now I do the same thing for my own clients, players, whoever I'm coaching. I go above and beyond. And that's from the coaching that I've received in my life. And I think that the blessing that coaching can be is it could be a ministry. It could be a deal where, you know, like, I don't know, everybody ain't Christians and things like that, but it could be where you serve, showing who your spirit, where your spirit coming from, your heart. Like you can put your heart out there and like you could literally like just like show people like this is the way through coaching. And a lot of people that ain't in the game, they don't see it that way because they don't know. They don't know about these relationships that we build with these people, man. It's crazy. So it's like you can't be entitled in this game. You can't feel like, oh, I'm above you or I can't stoop down to help you. Like, bro, everybody in this called an intern for free. You know what I'm saying? We done pulled some crazy hours, did some ridiculous stuff. Bro, I done watched everybody named Mama Draws on the team. You know, Marshall laughing. Hey, we used to be grabbing them loops, bro. It be like, you be looking like skid marks, all types of stuff. But it's like, bro, it's out of love, though. Like, these like our kids, you feel me? So it's like, man, I just feel like coaching is one of them professions where it's like, you know, coaching and teaching, which is why I do both. I feel like it's one of those professions where you can kind of, you know, really develop those relationships and give your heart out to these people, man. I think that's a blessing, man. So I think it's important to be a giver, you know, not expecting all the time. Like, you ain't gonna get paid, you know, coaching. I mean, you're not gonna get broke off the first 5-6 years. It's part of it. You know what I'm saying? Suck it up. If you ain't trying to be a coach, don't be a coach. You're gonna have to be broke for a little bit. But eventually you're gonna come up because you gotta wait, because you gotta serve your time. You gotta show what you got. You gotta show that you have value. You gotta create that value. So I think that's important with that, man. For real. Like, the service heart is critical. It's the first step. To me, I believe it's the first step.
I think kind of segue into that sometimes those free internships and stuff like that. Most black guys, as you already know, are not born in a situation where they can financially be able to do that. Like, Jerell already knew that I wasn't financially able to always do like being an intern and stuff like that. So I really want to recommend for most of the players that want to go into coaching or people that want to go into coaching or like him intern at a university or something like that. They need to make sure that their finances is legit. My boy Jerell, he did it basically perfect. I mean, he got a scholarship to a D2 school. You know what I mean? All his stuff was paid for. You know what I mean? And so right after he got out of college, he went right into working his behind off, stacked up as much money as he could, and then he decided to do some of the things that was more interesting to him. You know what I mean? So I would recommend the same thing for other prospective coaches to do the same thing. So you can be able to give as much as you possibly can without having to feel like, man, I need some money, and start to go away from the thing that you really love.
Another thing is, if you can, through connections or, you know, maybe just working your butt off, if you don't have the money and you don't have the time to work, try to get them to Division I schools because they pay. I mean, I saw it. They pay for your school because we were working. Kerry, Marshall, and I, we were working Division III. So our school wasn't paid for. We was getting paid pennies to work, like literally pennies for the hours we were working. But I knew somebody who was working Division I, and they were paying for their school and cutting them a little check. So, I mean, it's not, you know, everybody can't do it. We didn't do it. We were Division III, like I said. But if you can find your way, sneak your way into that Division I, try to, I mean, like I said, if you don't have the funds and you don't have the, you know, you don't want to go off. And I went to Alaska to work. And like Marshall said, I worked crazy hours to stack up some money. But if you don't want to do that and you can find your way to Division I would say try that. Strapp, you got anything to say about that?
Yeah, I was just gonna piggyback off of what you guys said. Like, if you got a way to get to Division I, that'll be nice, and it'll be good. It'll be really good, especially during this time, because during this time, anybody that's at Division I that's coaching as like a head or anything, they're more than likely the first part of what Kerry has spoke about, the entitled part, because of the fact that they're in that, you know, the hierarchy where everybody want to be where everybody want to go. Mm-hmm. So at some point they were just like us, but once you get to that point, you know, your whole mindset change, especially if your team start winning, you start getting more popularity off of it. Something like in Alabama, their strength coach, Scott Cochran,
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't believe he's that type of guy, but I know that there may be some coaches in this field that actually goes through like that entitlement phase.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just the fact of having somebody like us or somebody that's more like given to work under them, which is more than likely who they intend to hire. Because a lot of times who you hire is usually your opposite, something that you can't give those athletes. I've already seen that. I got that when I was at UTSA. One of the coaches that told me like, yeah, like I was only chosen because of pretty much my relationship that I can have with these athletes. Then on top of that, he was African American, so it made it that much. And then the head strength coach, he wasn't entitled. I wouldn't give him that entitlement, but he was more dug into his job. And he was more like.
And you hit the kids from another angle because of the relationships that you could build. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then to add to what y'all saying as well, man, it kind of hit me in my heart, Marshall, when you told me that, or when you said that you need to make sure that you good before you go out and try to, go and do an internship or to coach, and try to get into coaching, because you got to make sure you prepare for that. And I agree that, yes, everybody does not come from those, good backgrounds where they can jump off the porch like that and then the risk won't kill them. You know what I'm saying? But I would also add to that, being a man of color, when we are as, minorities, when we say we want to get into a profession like coaching, which is white dominated, which is the reality of it, we have to make our minds up, you know what I'm saying? Because there are a lot of minorities coaching. HBCUs are very prevalent, you know what I'm saying? They're very dominant. You can get in one of those, and there's some guys that'll hook you up just because you are a brother. But I would say when we trying to get into this profession, when we all made that decision, it was a decision. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like you really have to know where you at inside of here. Like, you really have to know. Like, if you don't know, don't do it, because you're going to get put in some crazy places. They're going to drop you. You're going to get on the coaching scoop and you're going to get a call back from somebody in Maryland. Or you're going to be, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're going to get a resume in Montana. You know what I'm saying, Jerell? You're going to be in Montana. You'll end up in Florida. You'll end up in Oklahoma. It's like one of these. This is the profession that I think is truly. That's why I think there's so many men of faith in this profession. It's truly, you have to know where you're coming from. And it ain't, the money just can't be the motivation. Like, yeah, you want to have it, but no matter if you have it or not, you'll never have enough because you're going to spend it all moving. You know what I'm saying? You're going to spend it all. You're going to spend it all moving, bro. You're going to spend all your bread and now either move somewhere brand new and they give you $1,000 a month. So it's like, you just got to know. Like, you got to know. If it's in your heart and you a coach and you here to, give to these kids, give to the profession, then do it. You know what I'm saying? I say if you think you can do it and you're an athlete now and you feel like, man, I might want to do this and I think I really do want to continue that, to feed that fire I got inside of me as an athlete, then do it. Just do it. And if it don't work out, it don't work out. That's okay. But you never know until you just go out and try. You got to go out and try it out, man, for sure.
And to piggyback off what you said about especially getting a little money and moving, I guess it was a Monday morning. I drove 10 hours the first day, 10 hours the second day. I drove from Fort Worth, Texas to Butte, Montana.
Butte, Montana.
And in 2 days, 2.5 days, I should say. So it was just, at first, I'm not even going to lie. Kerry talked me into going. I was like, man, I'm not going to Montana. I'm not doing this. My family, everybody I know is in Texas, Louisiana, and the South. I'm not going to Montana by myself. And Kerry was like, man, because he played there. He played at Montana State. Yeah. I coached at Montana Tech. And he's like, oh, it's not that bad, man. It'll be great for you. If you try, you're going to come back a different man. Just all types of positivity. And I called that coach back. We were both working at a mental health facility. And I called the coach back, and I was like, I'm coming. And he's like, well, when's as soon as you can get here? So it was the week after July 4th. I think July 4th was on like a Thursday. I don't know. But it was the Monday after July 4th. I just took off drive. And I mean, like I said, I wasn't in love with Montana. Wasn't in love with the weather or anything.
But you learned.
I learned so much up there. I became a different person. just being by yourself is awesome. It does. Getting away from your family, being by yourself makes you a different person. It just changes you because you don't have nobody to fall back on. You count on you. Cause I just didn't. I've just known these guys for a couple months. I can't really just count on them to look out for them. So that trip to Montana, get paid $1,000 a month, and it took me $1,000 to get to. I stopped to stay in the hotel, put gas in my car, stopped to stay in the hotel, slept, put gas in my car. So it just took a lot. But I love the game so much that I'm so glad I went there. We had some success. I loved it. So I mean, that's my 2 cents on that.
That's what it's about, bro. That's what it's about. And
I agree also about the you have to know if you want to be in this, because also if you're gonna be in this, you have to use all the resources that you possibly have within your grasp. Otherwise, once again, it's gonna be very tough to even find those jobs all the way into Montana State or in Montana Tech or where somebody tried to get me to go in Geneva College all the way in Pennsylvania. I was almost a secondary coach there. But I had decided not to take that offer because it was around the 20-ish something $1,000 that they were going to be giving me. But just to get up there, I would have been spending $5,000 in the first place. So it seems like something then, and then once you get down there, it's like I have nothing. So I definitely had to make an executive decision with that. But nevertheless, taking that type of leap would definitely test your soul and maybe push you in another direction that you didn't even think you were going into.
Yeah, definitely to pick off what Jerell just said. Unlike going from Texas to Montana, I went from Texas to Miami. Mm-hmm. So with that, I pulled the same thing you did. Like Miami had called me. It was right after their bowl game. It was actually the day before their bowl game against Wisconsin. They called me literally that day before, and they was asking me if I wanted to come and intern. And then I was with my dad, and we was going to go get a vehicle, and then I'm driving, so I got other things going through my head, so I'm a big Hurricane fan, so it going through my head, I'm just like, there's nothing over there. There's nobody over there, though. Like, I literally, in my head, I'm like, it's Miami, though, but it's just like, I'm going to be by myself. And then I just took that risk.
Yeah.
I took that risk. I didn't even answer when they had asked me that question. When they had asked me that question, I told them to give me like 2 weeks. So it's like January 24th, 23rd. December 23rd to 24th, one of those 2 days. And they told me I had until like January 14th to get there. So I told them to give me those 2 weeks. So those 2 weeks I was thinking, and just the day before I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna go. So we had already packed up the apartment because I was moving out. This was my last month. And then that next day, I told my mama because she was helping me park. And then I had took off. I had the whole car filled, and I just drove to Miami. Drove straight to Miami, bro. That was one of the being on my own out there. I was really by myself because I was like, I stayed in an efficiency. I don't know if y'all know what an efficiency is. It's worse than a studio apartment. It's basically a studio, but you don't got the kitchen because it's connected to somebody's house. So with that happening, I was living in there for like 4 months, and I'm down there by myself. So it's just like being that isolated, I was able to learn more about myself, go out more, like know what to do outside of work,
right?
And able to interact more with my coworkers that I met that was interning there as well. But yeah, that definitely did help change my career, and it taught me a lot about myself and just about how to move on and how I'm able to do things on my own.
Word. That reminds me, when y'all talk about that, man, that reminds me when I went to Oklahoma and I went out there, I ain't had nothing, you know what I'm saying, but the shirt on my back, you know what I'm saying? I had a bag full of Hardin Simmons clothes and, you know what I'm saying, a couple of dollars, and I had pulled up first meeting, you know what I'm saying? I got there the day of the first meeting, and then one of the coaches was like, hey, you need a bed? I got a king-size bed I ain't using. I'm like, yeah, I'll take your bed. So I take the bed. We, you know what I'm saying, we dragging it to my room, you know what I'm saying, my empty apartment that they paid for. They didn't give me no more money than that, you know what I'm saying, just $1,000. And I put the bed in my room, and I was just like, man, it's crazy. Like, I'm really out here, like, just I'm just out here. Like I'm out here to coach. That's it. Like I don't know nobody. I'm here to do what I love to do. And I think there's a piece in not knowing nobody, not, no expectations, all just clean slate. And it like I said before, to say that I was ready financially would be a complete, and that'd be a lie. I was not ready for that. I was super broke. Like, and I continue to be broke the whole time I was there. But the skills that I got while I was there, through the promotions I ended up getting while I was there, bro, man, there's no way I could pay for those skills. I can't pay nobody for those skills. I can't give nobody the money that reciprocates what I learned there that I continue to implement in my instruction now of, any type of coaching I do or teaching, and I'm in teaching now because of, financially I needed more for my daughter. But I mean, I want to go back to the college game at some point because I love the game of football. I love coaching. So I want to go back to it. But, I also love the fitness realm as well. So, I like just helping, man. I just want to help. We got to keep our heart in the right place because the brain going to tell you a lot. Your brain going to tell you a whole bunch of stuff, but your heart not going to lie to you. It's going to continue to push you where you want to go. And it's going to keep nudging you until it drive you insane and you just start following it. Or you just going to, off yourself. So it's one of the two. Don't die. We're going to our next. Yeah.
I wanted to say, Marshall, Kerry, I don't know about you, Strapp, but coaching takes, some days it's 20-hour days. Like, seriously, y'all. So if y'all want to coach, for real, you got to love it.
Now, Strapp did it too.
No. I'm talking about, the question I was about to ask. I don't have a family. Just think about me. Well, I have a family. I don't have no kids. Girlfriend, no kids, or anything. So I know, like I said, I know Kerry has a kid. I know Marshall married with, what I'm saying? So how did y'all?
He's like, I don't got nothing.
Oh, okay. So that's what I'm saying. I don't know about Strapp. Yeah. How did y'all manage? Because that's big. Some people gonna try to come to this game with kids or with, with a girlfriend. How did you manage that? Because I can't really speak on that, but I know y'all two big, great at it. So.
Well, that's one of the reasons why I didn't take that Pennsylvania job is because we had just had my daughter Ari, and she was like three months old. Well, so she was born in November 5th of 2018, and then that spring I had applied for so many jobs, and one of them hit me back. And the head coach from Geneva College, he was actually in that area for recruiting, and he was like, "Well, let's just have some type of interview at that time." And so I was really excited because, as y'all already know, all of y'all know, we love what we do. So I was super excited and super pumped about just to have an interview in general. And so once we had talked and everything like that, he was pretty much on the accord of like, you might need to stay here because we're only offering 24,000. And I was like, ooh. I was like, you sure you guys couldn't go up to like at least 30 or something? Because that was like my cap. Like, if anybody gave me 30, I'm gone, like that. So that was as most as they can offer for that. He was like, I mean, I can't promise you that you may get some next year or something like that, but I definitely guarantee you you'll have a lot of fun down there. But I talked to my wife a little bit and stuff like that, and we had to check out some numbers, and the numbers just wasn't working out at that time. So, and we had just had our kid. So that situation was definitely different for me because that was the first time in my life I had to basically choose between my dreams and other people that's within my life that's kind of like dependent on me surviving and thriving. So it was definitely strenuous and really torn. So
it's extremely hard. I mean, it's phenomenal how hard it is because the coaching itself takes so much time from you, so many hours, so much dedication to the sport or to the field mentally that I think you almost feel guilty at times giving that much to something that's not your kid. Your child is having these games, recitals, these celebrations, and you're not there all the time because you're giving to a whole like 100 other kids that it's just kind of a push pull thing that always happens. But for me personally, it drove me, man. It drove me because I was like, man, I want to be able to grow in this profession so that I can provide for my daughter the way I need to. And it drove me a lot, man. But it's extremely hard. Not any young coach, I would advise to them to wait until you get, comfortable and established with your wife to, start to have kids so you can, have those conversations about, who's going to pick up the kids from the school or take them to daycare and do things like that. Because my daughter doesn't live with me, so it even got more sticky, just trying to FaceTime at 9 o'clock at night, you know what I'm saying, while I'm washing, everybody's clothes and stuff like that in the locker room. I ain't got no Wi-Fi, so I can't even pick up the, Wi-Fi signal, and I can't see her like I'm supposed, you know what I'm saying? Mentally, it was a lot. It really was. But that also added to, making me stronger. That's the adversity kind of building who I am today. So I think that, man, it's tough, man. I can't sit here and act like it wasn't tough. That's probably the hardest part about it, having a family that you missing because you coaching. But at the end of the day, if it's your passion, then it's all gonna work out for the better, and it'll all work out the way it's supposed to, So that's kind of
Kerry, you hit on a point of like the planning part of it all, is that you really have to, in this type of situation, you really have to start planning much deeper than just surface level. Like, I can just do this and then do that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's stuff that you have to have like 5 to 10 years from now, just so you could be able to have the appropriate time to spend with your family and still create the possibilities for your dreams as well. And that's what I'm going through right now, and that's why I'm coaching at the school I'm coaching right now, is to continue to stay in my profession, but still get the money that I need to from other resources. You know what I mean?
Multiple streams of income. Income.
Yeah. And so what I've been doing is training as much as I can, and still stay in my profession, still learning my profession as a coach. But I've always liked strength and conditioning, so that's something that came easy to me, and so that's why I'm able to be a master trainer at like a place like 24 Hour Fitness. But I think the big ticket is for people that have families or may almost accidentally have a family, is to, like, when that happens, don't just like totally neglect your family because you want to accomplish your dreams, or totally neglect your dreams. You have to have a plan and process, and give yourself a time limit to maybe put a fire under your butt to say, okay, I need to make this happen, or it's just not going to happen because I have to move on. You know what I mean? And so that's what type of plan I have in place right now.
Okay, Jones, you want to go ahead and hit the next topic up, brother?
Yeah. I was about to say, we talked about coaching for, we can talk about that all day.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, we almost really kind of talked about this, kind of goes into what we were talking about. But the second thing we wrote down is, why do you do what you do? So
I'm going to let Strapp hit that, because Strapp has something for passion, tying into why we do what we do.
Yeah, so why I do what I do, man. So this is going to tie into my second, one of my topics that I had brought up to the group earlier. So whenever it comes to passion, I feel like I don't really have the passion for strength and conditioning. Well, I have the passion for strength and conditioning, but I have the love for the people that I meet through strength and conditioning. Because, see, like, the definition for passion, I looked it up, like, it states, like, passion can be anything that simultaneously challenges you. Mm-hmm. So I felt like strength and conditioning was something that challenged me. It wasn't something that was easy to me that I felt like I can do on a daily basis. So just like when I looked at strength and conditioning, I was just like coaching. I was just like, I'm not really much of a speaker if I'm like talking to somebody face to face right there. So I was like, this is something that I know that can challenge me. I love fitness, and then I also love sports. So I was just like, I know I don't, no offense to Marshall about the general public, it's just working with gym pop and athletes, like those are like two different things. Mm-hmm. But for someone like myself, I was like, I know I love working with athletes, and I know I want to like be in that field with them to give them like something that they can be able to, someone they can be able to talk to and open up to as a coach and as a mentor. So I was just like, I feel like that's something that I would prefer to do passionate wise. So that's why I went down to strength and conditioning. But as far as like the love that go into it, pretty much like, man, I'm not even gonna lie to y'all, bro. The love that go into it, I feel like it comes from the people that you meet through it. Mm-hmm. You meet a lot of people. In my field, I meet a lot of people. There's people from Brazil, that strength and conditioning coaches, Colombians. You meet a lot of people. You get a lot of characters. You get a lot of you experience more through what I do. So that's why I chose to go down the path that I chose.
Yeah, go ahead, J. Jones.
No, I was saying I like how you said you meet a lot of people, and some people you meet become family almost. I mean, you in the coaching field, really everybody. You go to these conventions and everything, you shake hands with these coaches, you start talking up, and sometimes you meet somebody that you talk to for the rest of your life. Mm-hmm. So it's a huge benefit in coaching because, like Kerry said, we really just need to work together. Because it's really, I mean, we're competing against each other, but at the conventions, when you go and you talk and you meeting with people, it's just you family. Yeah. At the end of the day, we want the same goal. We want these kids to grow up and be great men. I mean, we want to win state championships. We want to win national championships. We want to win conference. At the end of the day, you're supposed to care about the kids. We want to see them grow up and be great fathers, great husbands, great sons, great mentors, great citizens of this world. So at the end of the day, like he said, I love how the people I met, people that taught me stuff, people I got to help teach. It's just that's really what my passion. Just I like to learn, and I also like to teach. I want to see you see a freshman become a senior, and it's like, man, look how much growth you see. So that's my passion, really, just the help, the love you get to show.
And to add to what the both of y'all said is with the people aspect. That's why I think if people have young kids that are still in sports, you need to see how, if you're going to consider your kid playing for somebody, you need to see how they treat their people first. You need to see how they treat, other parents, how they treat the worst kid on the team, how they treat the janitor. Because if a coach doesn't understand people and doesn't know how to treat people, you shouldn't want to let your kid go be with that coach, for an extended amount of time, because that's the whole profession. The whole profession is based on our relationships that we're building. That's how we all are here right now, is because of the relationships that we built within one another. At some point, of time, I've asked each and every one of y'all for something in regards to coaching. Like I've asked for something like Strapp done hooked me up with a template to do my training before. That's the profession. You know what I'm saying? Jay Jones done gave me a reference before. That's the profession. If we're not putting the value in, these relationships, then we lost. People that get lost in these coaching clinics and want to watch 4-3 defense all day long and learn the ins and outs of it, and they don't care about the Jimmys and Joes, so to speak, right? They don't care who's going to run the defense. They just care about the defense itself. My defense is impenetrable. Like, bro, your defense ain't all that, bro. Everybody done did that already. Like, all the X's and O's, the techniques of a power clean, everybody knows that. You can learn it. But everybody's not taking care of their people. You know what I'm saying? I feel like people are asleep on the fact that Nick Saban really do love his kids. You know what I'm saying? That's why he ain't tough on them like that. That's why he don't really kill them when they do stupid stuff. Like, he take care of them. He give them another chance. And that's why he's had so much success. I feel like these other coaches that know everything in the world, about the sport, but they can't get their kids to play dead in the West, is because they don't care about them. You know what I'm saying? These kids feel that. So I think, personally, when I was a player, if I felt that from a coach, you ain't get nothing from me. Once you show me that you don't care about me, you're not getting nothing from me. Now you get an attitude out of me. Now I don't want to listen to nothing you got to say. You making me something. And I say that because I was a kid with an attitude. You know what I'm saying? Everybody knows Sloan got a little attitude. I was pop off. But my thing was, if I couldn't feel that trust from you, if I didn't feel like you was developing that with me, bro, you're going to get kickback. And I know that's how it is with players that, if you're confident in yourself, then you feel like you want somebody that cares about you. It's not really about teaching me nothing. It's about showing me you love me. Once you show me you love me, then I love you. Then I put my heart on the table, and now I run through a wall. It's nothing, for you. And I think that's what this is all about. And with these relationships we build with other coaches, man, it's critical. We always looking for people to mentor us, man. Like these OG coaches that don't want to do that, and they leave us in the wind when we sitting here asking for guidance. I don't understand that. I'll never understand that. And that's in any profession. If you are OG, you somebody that's been in the game, you a veteran, why would you not want to help out somebody that's trying to be in your spot? That don't make no sense. That makes no sense. And these cats that you downplaying and you ignoring, they don't forget that. So once I get to that spot and we are equal, I'm trying to crush you, bro. Like I'm trying to crush you because you sitting here playing me like you ain't never been me before. You know what I'm saying? You playing me like you never been in my shoes, and that's false. But, or maybe you doing me like that because somebody else did you like that. But I mean, you know, use it and add to the fire. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I feel about it.
You hit the nail on the head. I think a lot of people, they think it's like an initiation. Like, oh, I got treated this way, so I got to treat you like that. Oh, this is when I was a GA, this is how they did. So, man, times have changed. we got to grow. No, for real, we need to grow.
Yeah.
All that, this happened to me, so I got to do it to you. We need to grow. We need to get out of that stuff, man. Like, I don't know what, I mean, we always say no bullying and anti-bullying and stuff, but it's like we don't grow. It's like a lot of people want to, as you said, treat you like how they were treated. And I don't like that either. I'm against that one. So.
Marshall, we done had conversations recently because I talked to Marshall, you know, and we were talking about some situations kind of similar, you know, just kind of how it doesn't seem like we had that hand that's reaching out to us to groom us to be, you know, head coaches sometimes. Because I mean, that's just kind of what it is. I mean, we call it what it is. What you think about that, Marshall? I want to know what's your point of view on all of this.
Well, I mean, we just have to continue to stay on the front of having those black coaches continue to develop the coaches that's around them, and I think it's happening. I see it a lot more than I did in the past. I mean, because I've been doing this for about 7 years now, and just recently I've been seeing the explosion of like black coaches, like all of us here right now are having talks and stuff like this together. You know what I mean? That I really didn't see in the beginning of the coaching because when I interned at Charleston State. In the strength and conditioning program, it was nobody that looked like me. It was just me. I was the only black guy on that staff at that time, and so I couldn't really relate with those guys. I couldn't really relate with them as far as like communicating with them because I was a kid from Stop 6, and so I always kind of had that in my head like they won't never have the same type of conversations that I would like to have. But I could always get with the kids and be able to understand them. And they weren't even kids at that time because I was almost relatively the same age as them. So,
but that's based on your background, though, right? That's based on your background.
But a lot of those guys respected me and listened to me whenever I had something to say, even though I was just an intern. So that definitely helped me with actually doing what I want to do at this point. That part of my coaching background really helped me. Just that internship of being a strength and conditioning coach helped me as a master trainer now, in a certain to a certain extent. But to answer your question, I think that is happening where a lot of black guys are coming together and saying, what can we do to help each other so we can get more guys on staffs with a lot of kids that are black, so they can start seeing, okay, we have mentors that are black, and we can maybe be a coach possibly like them, because they're now seeing it. Because I never thought about that when I was a kid, because most of our coaches were white at the time. We had a couple black coaches, but most of our coaches were white. And so I never thought about being a coach until my dad one time told me after I had did so many things, like, why don't you just coach? I had never thought about that. You know what I mean? So I think that's the biggest thing, that we need to get more guys like us and start mentoring those guys that are are kind of on the cusp of thinking about coaching or do want to be in coaching in general?
I want to say something though about what you said, Marshall. I think I agree, and I think it's definitely needed that we need more mentorship coming from our own, for sure. When we get up to a certain position as Black men, African American men, a lot of times what has been seen is that when we make it up there, we cut the rope and we say, "All right, I'm here." That's what usually happens a lot of times, because there have been Black coaches and there's continuing to be Black coaches now. But at the same time, I think the most important thing is that we come together, like you said, in these associations where, they got, what's the minority, what is it? What I'm talking about. I can't remember the name of it right now, but they have different associations that they're doing to bring us together. But I think even more so than it is just about, just us, it's about anybody getting in though. Like just getting in, because it ain't even racially driven. It's like these cats sometimes they make it, they just don't want to lend a hand out to just help. Just give me something. Now I've been blessed enough that I've had a lot of coaches that have, given me templates, they've given me game plans, they've given me workouts, they give all that stuff. I've been blessed, man. I really have. But I just think it needs to be more, man. It just needs to be more. I think that's what it's about, is just continue to build these relationships and just the positivity, just trying to just give that service heart we were talking about, man. I think that's important. That's important to continue to, build that, because we don't want to get resentment. You know what I'm saying? We don't never want to get mad. And I think that's what we need to kind of work away from, like not get mad about it, but just like be like, okay, look, I'm going to get to this point where they're at because I'm going to continue to work. You know what I'm saying? I think if we work and continue to stay consistent, then we can get wherever we really want to get to. I mean, if you really keep working. I truly believe that. I don't think we're in a day and age where now the disadvantage is there for Black men, in other words, we can't climb the ladder. I do believe we can. But I think it's important that we stay consistent. And then when we get there, we just remember that it's when we get there, it's time to give back. You don't get everything and you're supposed to hold on to everything. Once you get all this responsibility, it's time to give it out. It's time to be a service. You don't need all of that. You don't need all that knowledge. You can't use it. You can't use all that knowledge at the same time. You're supposed to give it out. You're supposed to teach it. And while you're teaching, you're getting more knowledge as you teach. That's the highest level of learning, is teaching. You know what I'm saying? Cats don't even know that. They be sitting on all this knowledge, and that's why they can't grow, and they wonder why they stuck in the same job for 10, 11 years. You know what I'm saying? You at whatever level, and you got these dreams of being higher than that, but you can't get higher than that because you always holding on to everything. So I think it's important that, us being young men in the profession doing, we doing well. We're taking care of our business. As we continue to grow, we continue to give. And I think that's the big thing. It's continuing to grow, continuing to give. Once you get it and you use it and it takes you up here, then now you shoot it back down to somebody else. You know what I'm saying? You dish it off the rock. You pass it off and then you see what they do with it. And then once they do something with it, they're going to appreciate you and they're going to appreciate you, give it back to you. Now y'all passing the rock back and forth. Now y'all passing somebody else. And now we all growing. You know what I'm saying? There's enough food out here for everybody to eat. We can't be sitting here just hiding our plates. That's clownish to me.
I think also is that we can't always just like kind of wait for the opportunity. I think more of us need to like start searching for those coaches. You know what I mean? I mean, I know a lot of us are busy, and especially on like a D1 level, you are really, really busy. But in that times where you do have a little time where you can, we need to start searching for those guys rather than always having it just come to us. Like search for those guys, those special guys that turn out to be something special.
Who we searching for? Who you mean search for who though?
As far as coaches is concerned, you know how you were just saying about we need to like dish out and give to coaches, up and coming coaches and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. I think we need to start searching for those guys. Like when we kind of see those guys, we need to really grasp onto those guys and try to bring them under our wing if they really are about that position.
Now, I would add to what you're saying, Marshall. Now, I agree that we should, want those guys. But I think sometimes being somebody that's been on a level, and I ain't been D1 or nothing like that. But when I was coaching NAIA at OPSU, I had some cats that used to, hit me up when they saw me at that level as a special teams coordinator, recruiting coordinator, running backs coach. They're like, "Oh, Sloan made it," so they would be trying to hit me up, but I would ask them to go and I'll be like, "Look, we got a position open. It has this is the duties." I'd be like, "Man, just hit up coach and let them know what you're trying to do." And I tell them that, and they wouldn't hit coach up. You know what I'm saying? And you wanna opt. You want to opt from us. I'm trying to hook you up, but you don't even want to take the step to go ahead and hit coach up. I said to make a phone call, shoot an email. He ain't did that. So to say that, we got to search for those guys, I think if you driven like me, I ain't searched for nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody searched for me. Nobody was coming and getting me. I had to go out and to everybody and get in their face, and I had to make them phone calls. I had to shoot them emails out. Didn't nobody give me nothing. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that that somebody shouldn't have came and got me, but say that
I agree. I definitely agree on that.
You know what I'm saying? To say that the coaches should
because I'm looking at it from the perspective of me, where I'm out going get it, and
but we got to keep that
really asking for that one opportunity. But people like us, we're gonna go after it anyway, whether somebody giving it to us or not. So
the fire
I
there.
definitely understand that.
You got it. It's in you already. It's already in you. So you got to keep that going. And Strapp, I see you about to say something. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I feel what Marshall's talking about. That's 100 though. Like in his field and what he do, they definitely do got to go out and go get it, and they got to recruit more. But in our field, it's like you gotta do more to get recruited. That's what Kerry trying to say. Like that's one thing that I did when I was at UTSA. Like I really didn't have a good relationship with the head strength coach, so I was just like, I know like trying to get something from him is more than likely not gonna happen. Mm. So what I did, like the coaches always brought their kids and always wanted a coach to train them. All the other coaches was always busy, so I always was just like, yeah, I got them. And to piggyback off of that, the coaches at UTSA at that time were majority like African American. Like the head coach, running back coach, special teams coach, all African American, and all their kids was the ones coming down, just lifting in the gym because they're allowed to live. Mm-hmm. So it was always lifting in the gym, but nobody was really like putting them through anything. So when they asked, I jumped. I was just like, shit, this is my opportunity. And then next thing you know, once they had left and once I was already done, I reached out and they did help. But since I only had intern experience, they couldn't help as much. But they did get calls and gave a call to the coach that they knew at that school or wherever they went. But it's just where I was at the point in time, their calls really couldn't get me to that level. But definitely, like what Kerry has said, definitely trying to, work to get recruited. That's the only way as a coach that I can see, like, you really going far in this field or, like, really getting up there. You got to build those networks and those connections with the people you come from.
And you got to create value for yourself. Like, you have to show people that you're valuable. Nobody thinks you're valuable off the rip. It's just a fact, bro. Like, it's nobody thinks you're valuable. Like, these coaches have been putting in so much time. They stay away from their family so much. They watch so much film. They write so many programs. They don't see you as nothing. Like, unless, and it's not like all coaches are like that. Some coaches, they just want to give love. They show love. But a lot of these coaches don't see you like that. They just see you as another cat that's trying to get something from them. So when you take an ugly opportunity like they kids in the gym just running around with balls and you put them through a program, now you got his attention. You know what I'm saying? Now you took it, you're like, what he, at this point, think he, okay, like, so, he helping out my kids. Now you done got his heart a little bit. Like, okay, like, let me see what I can do for this cat. And I think it's taking those ugly opportunities, those little small windows that it like looks like nothing to the average Joe. You know what I'm saying? A cat, like, you look at it, it's like, that ain't nothing. Like, why you doing that? But Strapp, I'm sure stuff like that got you to Miami. You know what I'm saying? Like, and us, stuff that we do that we help out these cats that, they need us. So we just doing grunt work. They don't forget that stuff. If we reach out to Coach Burleson, you know what I'm saying? Coach Burleson gonna put a word in for us no matter what, because we GA for him. You know what I'm saying? Just out of love. And that's what I'm saying. It's just like, we got to continue to just put ourselves out there, create value continually. And we can't expect, we can't expect nothing, bro. We can't. We just got to go find them. Find the op and attack. Find the op, attack. Find the op, attack. Find the op, attack. And then once you get tired of attacking, you recharge, you go chill. But at some point, you got to get back on it because that's the game. That's the game. You gotta, you eat what you kill, bro. You eat what you kill. So.